Hey guys, Kit-Siderations, and let's talk about carriers and chest rigs over the top of them. All right. So I'm just simply bringing it up because it's like this one of those things that just kind of keeps popping up where people are like, it's the way, right? It is not the way, it is that person's preferred method. And we have a tendency to be a little intellectually dishonest and say that our preferred method is the method. Okay. If you really want to and you feel like it makes sense, then by all means, run a slick carrier and then run a chest rig over the top of that for your fighting load. However, understand that what you're doing is making things more complex at best, more complicated at worst than they need to be. All right. If I simply take all the stuff that I need, the pouches, the placards, the hangers, whatever, that I need to carry the fighting load I know I need to carry, at least at a minimum, and I simply attach those directly to a plate carrier, I now have one item that I don and I have my fighting load. By doing the armor chest rig combo, what you've effectively done is increase the amount of time it takes you to be ready. You have increased the number of things that you need to properly fit up all together to make sure they sit the right way and they're not bouncing around while you move. You've also increased the number of things and straps and buckles and attachments that need to be gotten through should you become a casualty and someone has to work on you. All right. You're also increasing the complexity of just simply changing your layers of clothing, right? Between being active and going into rest, going to long halts, you're making things more complex or complicated depending on what it is you're trying to do. All right. So that is why I highly recommend it. I did it beginning my career. We didn't have plate carriers. We had big, bulky, obnoxious flak jackets that were literal vests of armor, super limiting in mobility and did not provide the real estate to mount a full fighting load to them. Some of them had no molly whatsoever. So we had to wear something over the top of them in order to actually have a fighting load, right? And eventually that went from belt kit to the load bearing vest style to the chest rigs. And once we started getting actual plate carriers on the market that came with the real estate to mount the things that we needed, that just became the common sense way. And it's still the common sense way. A built out plate carrier is going to get you through 90 to 95% of the tasks you need to actually be doing. And then for that other small percentage, you can have a chest rig that's set up. And for the people who actually perform that small percentage as their primary duty, they will have a special set of equipment set up for that mission because they have gear to fit the mission, right? I do not try to fit the mission to my gear. Removing my armor and only wearing a chest rig doesn't make me wrecky. It's intellectually flaccid. Just because I am on a reconnaissance task doesn't mean I should just wear a chest rig. It may be smart to wear armor. When we were mechanized, we would wear armor because vehicles have a much larger signature. You are much more limited in your overall mobility and where you can move. And so you're more likely to be compromised. And then you're a much easier target. So armor is a mitigating step in preventing becoming a casualty should you become compromised. But then if we successfully infiltrate, make it to our harbor site, park the vehicles, leave security, and then the guys who are going to dismount and go way out and conduct further reconnaissance and surveillance tasks would then often drop the armor, go down to their rigs that are built out for that task, and conduct that task. And then all the guys sitting at the vehicle site are still wearing their armor, even though it is overall a reconnaissance mission. Okay. One place where I would recommend this general idea is cold weather. Okay, I can have my base layer. I put a slick armor carrier over the top of my base layer, and then I can layer over that and then put a chest rig or whatever style really you like for your fighting load carrier over the top of my outer layer because that fighting load is going to be compressing those layers less and rubbing and wearing on those layers less. Therefore, it's going to allow those layers to perform as intended and have less wear and tear on those layers. So that is a place where this can be a good solution. All right. Again, these are Kit-Siderations. Take them or leave them. It's totally up to you. Don't listen to what I have to say just because I'm some dude with a beard and a talking head on Instagram. However, I have been there. I've done these things, and that's why I recommend what I recommend, and I put forth what I do. There are a lot of people out there who are just into equipment and into wearing their equipment and general training and preparedness. We're going to tell you that you need to do a thing for a task that they have not actually performed. Right? So it's really difficult to weed out who knows what they're talking about, who's full of it, and for all you know, I could be full of it too. But do the homework, do the research, don't just take one opinion, look at a lot of what's out there, and again, if it makes sense to you, if you think this is the best solution for what you need to be doing in your task, then run it. But if it doesn't make sense and you find yourself trying to justify the decision, it's probably not the right one.